welcome to the Level 6... Oh, wait, no, this is the Fagzilla podcast. Today with me, I have Paige. Introduce yourself.
Hi.
And Seabass.
My guitar's over there, so I can't play it.
And that's all we have today. So, I actually just got back from seeing the movie, but I think Paige and Seabass saw it a while ago. So, would you recommend
I saw it on my
I
birthday.
saw it about
literally last week.
A week ago or so.
Literally 7 days ago
last
today.
Friday?
Tuesday. I saw it opening night, October 11th. It was great.
Dude, spoilers. You're supposed to keep that hidden. You're supposed to like shit on it the entire time and be Sunday, and at the very end be like,
it's not like I like it or anything.
Shin Godzilla? It's okay. I'd hug it.
I mean, I don't know.
So, did anyone have like bad thoughts as soon as they saw the first like clip of Godzilla, and it was just like a turkey like running through the streets?
Are you talking about Googly Eye Godzilla?
Googly Eye one. That was like...
I didn't think that was Godzilla, actually. I thought that was a monster that Godzilla was gonna fight, because that's typically how these movies work. Like, a monster shows up, starts wrecking shit, and then Godzilla's like, okay, no, I'm the one who wrecks Tokyo, motherfucker. Then he does some kung fu shit on the... Yeah. So I didn't think that was Godzilla at first. That was a cool little thing.
I figured out what was up. Like, I understood what was happening when it first showed up, and I was like, dude, that's fucking cool. And he was like fucking running around, and he's bleeding everywhere, and he's like, blah. That was awesome. I love that. I actually really liked his googly eye design, because it's really reminiscent to aquatic creatures in general, especially like fish.
Yeah.
Like, they have that dead eye look.
Yeah.
It wasn't really googly eyes because they weren't wobbling. They were just, stuck in place and really large.
Like, I literally, this is possibly one of the funnier Godzilla movies. Say, like, with the exception of like the Toho the Showa era movies back in the 60s and 70s. There were a lot of funny scenes in it that I was not expecting.
I thought this was an awkward movie to watch in a theater, because you don't know when to laugh, or, like, is this English supposed to be serious here, or, this is a joke.
I don't think any of the English was supposed to be a joke at all. Like,
honestly,
it was just really bad.
For a Japanese actress,
some of the actors were, like, actually
she did pretty good.
English, and then some were just Japanese actors.
She was pretty... I mean, it sounded pretty decent. Like, I could actually understand what she was saying.
Anything we're talking about.
Yeah.
You're just saying
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Blah,
we're the worst fucking... Okay.
Yeah.
So, what the fuck is Shin Godzilla? What the fuck are you people talking about?
Well,
I'll go through this.
Paige.
Shin Godzilla.
Well, since I'm a huge Godzilla fan,
2016 remake reimagining of the Godzilla brand created by Toho in like 1950s. I'm not a huge Godzilla fan. I've watched.
I am, so I feel like I should be talking about this.
Has lots and lots of movies, like 30 or some shit, and I'm going to do a quick rundown on the Godzillas. First, there was a Godzilla in 1950, and it introduced Godzilla as a metaphor for the nuclear holocaust, or as, like, nuclear, contamination and, nature.
That's the theme with, actually, Godzilla. Godzilla movies always have this sort of, like, underlying, like, social commentary to them.
And then after that, there were lots and lots of more Godzilla's movies, where, like, Godzilla fought pretty much everyone under the sun, from Mothra to Mechagodzilla to legendary King Kong one, I believe.
Can you explain why Hideaki Anno named it Godzilla?
Can I explain who Hideaki Anno is?
No, why he named it Godzilla.
I feel like that comes later. That comes later until we come to now. We're still explaining backstory.
Really bad joke that these guys keep on
making fun of you with.
But anyway, continuing on. Godzilla had quite an impressive run in Toho. There's lots and lots of movies. Some more ridiculous than others. Some more serious. The ones that us Americans might be familiar with are one in the 1998, which was trash. The one in 2014, which was decent, but really nothing special or amazing.
Trash!
And this recent one, which had a limited release in the US, and was directed by Hideaki Anno, who is real famous for his little-known work,
Cutie Honey.
His animation work in Nisaka and the Valley of the Wind. Remember that one scene with Monster Shot the laser? That was Hideaki Anno, and it's real surprise from the
that's all he's known for.
The animator
literally
to big name director of movies such as Cutie Honey and Shin
Love and
Godzilla.
Pop.
Yeah, Love and Pop's pretty good. It's about compensating.
Oh! By the way, he did this. He did this one thing. He did this one thing in 1995.
Was that
It's really obscure. It's
Nadia?
called Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Neon Genesis Evangelion?
You don't know what I'm talking about, do you? Neon Genesis
I think-
Evangelion. You see it? I knew
I
you
think I
people
saw a
aren't
manga
know
for that.
what I'm talking about.
Like, isn't that based off like a manga or something?
Okay, guys.
I don't know.
For serious here,
maybe I think.
No, my bad.
No, we're
Hideaki Anno
meaning-
made Neon Genesis Evangelion the best.
Literally
thing
the
to air
best-selling
on
anime
TV.
ever.
all jokes aside about Gundam.
And that's
all jokes
not
aside.
actually the reason why I went and watched that movie.
All jokes aside, in the manga, the adaptation of like Neon Genesis Evangelion, there's this one part where it just mentions like 9/11 and the context of it and the events of like post impact, and apparently it still happens even though Manhattan was like evacuated because the city was completely underwater, which made no sense.
Man, didn't the Taliban feel
Sadamoto-
shitty then? They're just
What
like,
you
wait,
need
no
to
one
say
was there?
is Yoshiaki
Fuck!
Sadamoto is a hack, right? Because I think Sadamoto is a hack. Sadamoto is the guy who did the character designs for Evangelion, and he also did the Evangelion manga, and I don't like how long he took on that manga, and I don't like how he did like frame-by-frame scenes. I don't really like the Neon Genesis Evangelion. I do hard G, not soft G, because I'm a baller. But anyway, that has nothing
Continuing
to do
with the
Shin
Ava
Godzilla.
cast.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with Godzilla.
I mean, there's like
the
throwback
reason-
scenes when it brings in like the decisive battle soundtrack, and that's just like some
Yeah,
of the coolest moments.
We'll bring that in later.
Yeah, right.
There's a
So
lot of cool moments.
I first heard about Shin Godzilla existing literally like the day before I watched it because I saw, oh, what? Godzilla, new Godzilla from one of you guys, I think, or I saw like someone sent me a music.
It was
link
probably
or
from
something.
me.
Point is, I saw it. I looked up the trailer. I watched the trailer. I fell in love with the soundtrack. I rewatched that trailer about 20 times, and then I was like, oh my god, it's playing near me tomorrow. And then I went and watched it. And you guys can do your experiences.
Okay, so my experience was I learned about it, I want to say last year at some point. I heard Toho's finally going to make another Godzilla. And then earlier this year, I hear that Hideaki Anno's making a Godzilla movie. So already my raging erection becomes like, it literally exploded. I don't have a penis anymore. Just like all the blood went there and
It's
just
just
exploded.
Tang everywhere.
And it's everywhere. And like, I was literally like, when US release when? I've been agonizing it for like over a year, and I learned that it's coming out for limited release on my birthday. I'm like, holy shit. And then I go on my birthday, see it at the Alamo Draft House down here in Kansas City, and holy shit, it's like, it was the greatest experience of my life. It's like one of the best Godzilla movies ever.
Yeah, I feel like it came out of left field because I like heard about it, rumors, but then it came out and I saw some tweets, and then it was there.
I feel like none of you are as like a fan of Godzilla as I am.
It came out like a PS2 release. So like one of the like PS2 releases, that, like you either know about them or they're just suddenly there. That's how video games were in the PS2 days. Anyway, it was just surprising.
I gotta admit, my only experience with Godzilla
It
is
surprised
playing
you people.
the like GameCube Godzilla Destroy All Monsters. It's
Dude,
like a
Destroy
fighting
Monsters
game.
was like 10 out of 10. Holy shit, I love that.
So, I haven't played the Godzilla games. I've just watched the movies. But yeah, I grew up... I was a kid. I watched the Godzilla movies, like a whole bunch of them. My favorite ones are anytime Mechagodzilla shows up.
I've only watched the 1954 one, the 1950s, 1998, 2014, and 2016. That's my experience.
Cool.
So,
And how about you, Calliope?
Yeah, that was basic. Well, just the games and probably bad American adaptations of Godzilla.
Oh, okay, that's cool. We have
so now we
different perspectives.
Now we can begin taking up or starting this movie. So,
Actually, I want to comment on this. So there are currently there are 4 different Toho versions of Godzilla. There's the Showa era that came out from the 1950s to the mid 70s. That was the first era of Godzilla. There was a second era of Godzilla that went from 1985 to I want to say 1995. That was the second era. I forget what to call it. But then in 1999, in response to the 98 American Godzilla, they made the Millennium series. And then, which was Godzilla 2000 to Godzilla Final Wars. And then they stopped making Godzilla movies for like 12 years. And now we're in the fourth Godzilla era, which is the reboot series. The reason we're calling it the reboot series is because like all the other Godzilla movies were in some way related to the 54 Godzilla. But this one is completely independent of it. We're on uncharted territory in terms of Godzilla, so as a fan of Godzilla, I'm just really excited about this.
Shin means new.
Shin means new, true, or God.
Is it more just like a reboot, like more so just like a
straight up reboot? This is like
of Godzilla. If you put it that way.
I didn't watch.
I'm just saying
so,
like a start from zero.
I'm gonna say Shin means.
That's supposed to be
anyway.
You can only understand things in terms based off anime.
True.
So like, okay, the Showa era, they were all like connected, but then in the second era, like there was like a series, and each one came from the last one. And then in the Millennium series, they were all sequels to the 54. This one is literally a standalone Godzilla movie that just is unheard of, and it's reshaping the mythos. It's just, everything is new, and it's good.
It's great. So
I really like this.
Does anyone want to run down the plot real quick? Do you remember?
I can do
I
that.
guess I just saw.
Okay, so Japan. Everyone, actually, you just saw it, Calliope. You should.
Okay, so
Yeah, Calliope.
there,
What was the
so
plot?
it's like water, like tunnel breaks, and water keeps flowing in, and no one knows that there's a monster yet. But of course, everyone knows it's Godzilla, and they have all this political discussion about how they should respond, and they're taking some while. First, they decide if they should exterminate it, capture it, or just like scare it off, and then it comes out onto the land. And everyone's terrified. No one knows what to do. And they spend a lot of time discussing what their plans are. Meanwhile, it's ravaging through the city. And then it starts evolving. And they have no plans. And then the military starts doing inadequate job of destroying it. Because nothing can harm it. And then, it blows shit up.
Okay,
and then they
so
kill it.
well, they don't kill it; they freeze them.
I'm guessing the freezing
well-
part just leads to sequels. So I guess that's pretty exciting.
Yeah,
Yeah, they carry it. Do they just leave it in the middle of the city?
Well, what are they gonna do? Just pick them up? Like, oh yeah, let's just get a helicopter,
They had enough helicopters.
But anyway, this movie, like most Godzilla movies, has a sort of social sort of commentary underlying it.
What do you mean underlying it? Overlying it?
Well, yeah, underlying. It depends on the Godzilla
Like,
movie. It's like,
It was.
but like,
it was
kind of like how
more-
the 54.
It was more social commentary and commentary in general than it was Godzilla movie. Like, I would say.
Yeah, I could see
mean,
that,
like,
but like,
it's just
the same way
incredibly
how
politics
the
and
50
talking and dealing with a situation that is way over the government's heads than it is Godzilla going around fucking blowing shit up.
My second favorite part of the movie was this moment in the theater where they were discussing dropping an atomic bomb on Godzilla, and all of a sudden they start talking about like Nagasaki and stuff, and then they show actual pictures.
Okay, you mentioned
That's
able bomb to a
it's
Japanese person. That's the
Japan.
first thing they're gonna think.
No,
Yeah,
but
it's Japan.
Okay, that's like going.
no, but
Literally, like,
That's like going
I
to
know.
a black person and going, "Hey, slavery."
no,
That's the
no.
first
But
thing
what they
they're
do
gonna
is they
think of,
show an
you
actual
know?
picture, which is cool. But in our culture, that it kind of had a weird atmosphere. Like people were joking, like or just making jokes, like because like the U.S. dropped some bombs on Godzilla beforehand. I think they might have been atomic or something, which really damaged him. And it said U.S.
They didn't-
did
it wasn't
damage to
atomic, it was-
Godzilla, and some guy in the theater was just like, "Yes," and everyone like cracked out laughing.
It
Like-
did,
wait,
but then it
what?
didn't matter.
In the
But then
theater,
it
like,
didn't
people
matter.
actually made noise in your theater?
Yeah, they
My
did.
theater, pretty much
They did
everyone
make
was
some
silent.
noises. I guess that was. I
Like,
guess that
people laughed
kind
at
of
the funny
ruined
scenes.
some of the experience.
Whoops.
But-
like I'm thinking, I think they only laughed one time in my movie theater, and otherwise they were quiet. And I don't even remember what they were laughing at.
In my movie theater, we were laughing all the fucking time because at the funny scenes, like not just like at the movie, but like when the movie was being funny, like when they made jokes, we laughed. But
Well, the most upfront part of the like the pictures of the atomic bomb site that was like, people were actually being respectful there, just completely silent, which was odd, because it had never been that silent before in that theater, until that moment. So, I don't know if people were, like, wanting to crack a joke, or they were just remaining silent in respect. I don't know.
Right. But similar how to the 54 Godzilla movie had a social commentary on, like, well, not even social commentary, but it was, like, about, what's it called? What am I thinking of? When bombs were dropped on Japan in the 40s.
Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Yeah, that's what it was. Hiroshima and Nagasaki. This one has allusions to, and this Godzilla movie is sort of like a commentary on the Fukushima nuclear reaction thing and the earthquake and tsunami that happened in, I want to say, 2011. And how basically saying the government was incompetent and with dealing with it. And that's what this one is about.
Supposedly,
No, it is totally about that.
I mean, those first initial scenes,
Totally
like
about
with
that.
the boats just like piling up on top of each other and people just running, that definitely looked like scenery from what you would see after that tsunami.
Oh yeah, you mean the completely just massacred whatever that district was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Godzilla fuck shit up. But there's a shit ton of characters.
There's rising.
There's the one guy.
Rising upcoming, political
guy.
It was the disaster relief director or whatever it was, his title.
Like that guy.
And then,
basically Godzilla division.
Yeah, Godzilla division with the Godzilla head guy who, was the guy who was like, dude, I think this is actually an amphibious creature, while they were still thinking it was like an earthquake or whatever. And so you're like, this guy knows what's up. We're gonna follow him.
This guy, he's the protagonist.
He's the protagonist, and he's incredibly nationalistic and believes in his country to the fucking 10 out of 10. It's really great how much he feels for Japan, and I really actually do love patriotism.
Don't give up.
Deserve.
This movie made me a Japanese nationalist.
No.
But okay, there's him. There's also this Japanese American political chick who has vague.
It was a son of a senator who was Japanese, who had a Japanese mother, and so she learned Japanese, and she still had Japanese ties. She kept
Japanese grandmother.
Yes, my grandmother's
her
nation.
Grandmother, my grandmother's country, and all this.
Well, I mean, her mother was definitely Asian.
Very attractive.
Her dad.
Very hot, yes.
No, just
she was just average Japanese idol.
I will say that the other chick in the movie, the computer lady, she was hotter.
Yeah, honestly, I did like
she was cuter.
Chick had more of a
the
personality.
autistic one. She was.
The Japanese idol acted as if it's like a Japanese idol trying to act. Well, the researcher actually, was a researcher, which means she did her job well at acting.
Better character, I'd say.
I liked it. I like. I'm not sure how you felt about the English parts. I personally thought they were decently done for what they, could do.
I couldn't watch any English parts because the word was the screen was covered with words, and any part where there was English,
I could hear it. It was audible to me. I could understand what they were saying. Based on being an English speaker myself, so I'm not sure if you guys had that experience.
Whenever there was English, it was English. They were speaking English, and then there were Japanese subtitles, and then there were English subtitles for the Japanese subtitles, and usually when they were speaking English or any foreign language, they also had the location, because it would be a quick shot to another area. And it was just absurd that how many subtitles were on screen. I don't have that many eyes. We'd have flashbacks to the Monogatari series. It was just crazy.
I can read really fast, so that wasn't a problem with me. I could definitely see how that was a problem for a lot of people who aren't used to this style of just subtitles everywhere.
I do like the Japanese tradition of having those awesome subtitles whenever anyone's introduced or a new area.
This
Kill
guy
Kill did
is
it really, really, really well.
Yeah.
And it's this guy.
It's like, this guy's the photojournalist motherfucker who, and this is his name, and this is how old he is, and yeah.
This is his,
I'm a really big fan of
blood
that too. Like,
and his age, and what else?
This was his grades in high school?
No, his breast, waist, and hip, or whatever they do, right?
This is a body mass index.
I actually really do love it when they have like charts like that. It's just like, we just decided to come up with some random shit.
We just know everything about this person.
Oh yeah, an important one. Hobbies.
Hobbies, oh yes. Oh, I love the Prime Minister in this movie, both of them. They were great. Because in the movie, the Prime Minister of Japan gets killed by Godzilla.
I was going to say,
yeah.
Japan actually has a prime minister country, government system.
Yes. Yes, but the Prime Minister of Japan gets killed by Godzilla when he goes on a rampage thing. So then, so they have to replace him really quickly, and it's this hilarious guy who doesn't want to be there. He's just like, I don't want to be Prime Minister.
Like 50, 60. He's as old as the modern Japanese government.
He literally goes, like, these noodles are soggy. This is the worst job ever.
Did he do anything after that?
Yeah, he does a lot of stuff. He was the one who, like, he literally, like, stalled America from dropping atomic bombs and helped, what's his name, save Japan from being bombed. Yeah, Yaguchi, that's what it was, Yaguchi. He served an important plot point. He was cool.
Well, I mean, you need a prime minister of your country. I mean,
to do that,
a lot of this movie is politics and talking about politics and policies and talking about policies and trying to figure out how we're going to pass this fucking legislation so we can deal with these problems. And it's really...
Yeah, and they're like... And they have this hilarious line where it's like, they'll just push it to the next department because it's unprecedented.
It's honestly
I was really interested in it.
Boring about the politics.
It's not boring. Yeah, it's unlike Star Wars, the old ones, not the old ones, the prequel ones, where it's really boring with its politics. This is really interesting. You're like, whoa, what's happening?
Like, I wouldn't say it's boring, but I don't think it was entertaining at times. Like, it always had my interest. My interest was like 100%, but it wasn't like, wow, this is the best movie ever. Until like scenes where Godzilla would actually show up and destroys things.
My favorite scenes were actually where Hideaki Anno did something really cool with the camera. Like when they get the office, when they're setting up the office, and it looks like a documentary. Like, God, that was the coolest thing. Like that was the best scene.
Like, the scenes in Evangelion where like they show like the gates to the entrance of Nerve, or like just the streets, and it's just
they had a lot of scenes like that too.
Long line of stuff. Like you feel like, all right, so this isn't just one thing. This is hundreds of people doing this. This is hundreds of things being prepared. This is a system.
Yeah, like any of the times he uses like the camera in a really cool way, like or it's like I'm walking. It's like this footage actually exists diegetically within the movie. Like
he really does that well in other
iPhone footage,
movies, like Love and Pop specifically.
Love and Pop.
Like all the angles are great.
Like I love desperately those movies too.
It feels as if there should be a camera there.
Yeah, like this is actually being filmed. Like that this is being filmed with a camera, but you're so like it's just so cool and visually interesting, and I like it. Like literally, the cinematography is my favorite part about this movie.
My favorite part about the movie is definitely hands down the soundtrack, which is
the soundtrack's also great.
It has the same.
I've already mentioned. It's the same composer that composed End of Ava, didn't it?
Yeah. Evangelion. He has like some of his like 10 different versions of Decisive Battle. It has
but if you're unaware of what Decisive
Battle is just a James Bond theme.
I disagree. But for those of you in the audience who don't know it, look up Decisive Battle Evangelion, and you'll hear the best song.
No, seriously, look up.
But it shows up.
007 Take Selector. Because
don't look up 007. Look up Decisive Battle. It's a better song.
Decisive Battle.
I mean, it's kind of the same song, but that doesn't take anything away from Decisive Battle.
It's a good song.
It's good. Yeah, it's great.
good, and he uses it a lot in the movie, and it brings an Ava quality. Like, he uses it in scenes that would already feel like Ava, and he just kind of solidifies it.
It's really like those moments in like the Nerve HQ where they're coming up with a plan.
Yeah, like I really felt like I was watching like if Nerve was having to fight Godzilla. Like there's a lot of scenes like that I felt.
Remember after like Godzilla's first rampage, and then like he's just chilling out. And
yeah, he's sleeping.
It cuts to silence, and then it cuts to like news with the jazz playing.
Yeah, that was such an Ava thing too. Cut. Oh, I love that scene too. It's like everything's all bright and cheery, just like Ava. Like, oh, everyone's dying? Da-da-da-da-da-da. Everything's good.
But hands down, my favorite track in the original soundtrack isn't even original. It's from the like 1954.
None of the music actually is original. None of it is actually original. Actually, it's all taken from other Godzilla movies or Anno's own like filmography.
Anyway, the track, which I think is like track 20 on there or something, and it's in Japanese. I have the soundtrack, and it's
Godzilla theme,
Godzilla
right?
theme, like Godzilla title and title theme, and it is just it's the theme they use it in the trailer, and it is so good.
Oh my god! Like the second that song plays, you're like, holy shit! This is a Godzilla movie. I haven't seen one of you in 12 years.
There's a track where it's Godzilla is here, and then there's one where it's Godzilla is approaching.
Yeah. Oh my god. It's the music in this, well chosen.
Especially the silences, well chosen silences, because there's just some scenes where like some Godzilla does something, or like someone dies, and it's just cuts out, there's no noise, and you just look at the footage and you're like, fuck.
Yeah. Again, Hideaki Anno just knows how to direct really, really, really well. And I'm really glad he took a break from Rebuild to make this, because
this was honestly better.
Oh my god, this is honestly one of the best things I've ever seen from him.
Much better than Rebuild, worse than Rebuild AMV.
Honestly, Anno should give up on anime and just make live-action films like this.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he pretty much was doing.
Well, honestly, he was doing Cutie Honey. Like, how expensive was this movie? Because I felt like it was like an incredible,
because it was Toho, it was a lot of money.
Budget. Like, I mean, I don't think you can make movies this good. Like, even though, alright, compared to a Western looking
US,
movie,
it was 75 million.
It was really bad compared to a Western looking movie, because, like, you could see the CG, and, like, it was
the wiki page that had the highest grade CGI
well, actually, you could definitely see a lot of CG. But I'm going to say this. Godzilla, I'm not sure if he was CG or if he was a guy in a suit. I could not tell.
For me, like, I really think he was a CG, but even though the CG was really bad and obvious looking, like, it wasn't bad, it was passable.
For me, that wasn't a big deal, because when you grow up watching Godzilla movies, you're used to seeing the fabric, like the stitches. You're used to seeing, like, you know that it's a movie, so it doesn't like really do anything else.
But I mean, like, one an interesting thing is, like, it really brought up my mind when I was watching it, and I was watching the CG. I was enjoying the bad CG, because I was like, this is a good movie. I'm going to let this CG slide.
This is a good movie.
Like, I think it looked better than 2014 Godzilla, because this Godzilla was just more interesting to watch in every single way.
Yeah, and the way the way they shot Godzilla was really smart. It's
He's
similar to
fucking
how they
huge.
shot God. Yeah, they make sure they always show him from like a low angle to emphasize how huge he is. There's this one scene where his tail like goes over the city and you're like, holy fuck, you are freaking out.
Godzilla's just like walking around and his tail just cuts through buildings. Like, oh god.
Mm-hmm. Like, they know how to shoot Godzilla correctly. Like, there's a lot of movies, when I say a lot of movies, I mean the American Godzillas, where they don't really know how to shoot him well. Like, especially in the
They don't shoot him,
98.
they just shoot a lot of smoke.
Yeah.
Well,
Or
I
it's
think of
night
like the
and you can't
picture
see
of like
him.
his leg just like stomping down, and that's it. You don't see anything else other than that.
Yeah, they don't know how to shoot a Godzilla movie. The whole point of Godzilla is that he's an imposing figure, and the American movies seem to think an imposing figure is looking away from it.
Alright, in
Or-
the trailer, like,
Or
there's one...
having a fight, but cutting out weight.
In the trailer, there's like one monster shot of Godzilla, and it's like him and like the city smoky from his destruction. He's standing in the middle of the fire, and you can barely see Godzilla. That is completely different to how you see Godzilla in the movie, because he's just in your face all the time. And you're
Yeah,
fucking
you see
frightened.
him. You see every detail, even at
He's
night,
bright
when
daylight.
you shouldn't be able to
Oh,
see him that well.
fucking shit up.
Even when you shouldn't be able to see him that well, you could still see him. Like, maybe it's because Japan's been making these for like 60 years, but they know the whole
They
point about
give
Godzilla is that you
no
have to see
fucks
him.
about hiding the monster or whatever. No, it's fucking frighten me, please. He's honestly terrifying.
Yes.
It's honest, like, it's not like alien terrifying, but it's like, it's
Like,
awesome.
even googly-eyed
Alright,
Godzilla, where
straight
you
up.
were laughing your ass off, like, that was terrifying. Like, think about that. What if that thing came out of the ocean right now and was coming right at your face? You would be freaking out.
Alright, it was
Like, that
honestly,
scene was both funny
alright,
and hilarious.
I'm gonna heavily enunciate this. It was awesome. Like, it was awe-inspiring. It filled you with like, this is God. This is Godzilla. He's a beast.
This is
The
a
one
God
moment
Godzilla.
that summed it up
This
for
is a
me
true
was
Godzilla.
when it first transitioned into night, and like the city lights all started going out, and Godzilla was just there, and he was
Mhm.
like this, like the one light there, and he was just glowing. It was like there were
yeah,
literally
Godzilla
chills
shoots
down my
lasers.
spine.
And glows.
Godzilla, what?
Godzilla glows and shoots lasers because he's radioactive, and that's neat.
Yep. Yeah, and I love how he just, like, but, like, breathes toxic fumes into, like, Tokyo. He's just like...
Oh, dude, that
and then he
wasn't
just
toxic
fucking-
fumes. That was like, you ever seen like a rocket engine, like before it actually starts, like,
Oh, that's what that was. Yeah, that's
it's
what it was. I
basically,
just
like,
assumed he was
it's
breathing
gathering
out toxic
energy
fumes.
or like the energy afterwards. So like he does like a fucking
Mm.
pinpoint beam, but then after like he runs out of fuel or radiation or nuclear whatever energy, he then like just starts doing regular fire for a while before that cuts out,
Yeah, like,
and it's just really
like it's like regular
humongous.
fire.
Like it's like
The
his
way they do the
regular
fire is
like,
great.
you know, NASA's biggest the space shuttles, and then his like beam is like literally like sci-fi laser of death.
Can you even
Yeah.
replicate that
Like,
sound?
the way they
on your
did that was like it's
headphones?
devastating,
Because
and then it's like very
that was, like,
focused point.
piercing my ears, and I was like, "Whoa!" What the beam?
Yeah, his atomic breath is insane.
It
And
felt
then-
like just being in frame of there, would cut off like your arm, and they just surgically just remove that. Flink.
There was also this one when the Americans tried to like kill. It wasn't American. Well, it was Americans. They tried to like they dropped bombs on Godzilla and he was bleeding. He got so pissed off that he literally made lasers shoot out of his back and kill all of them. It was great.
Don't fuck with Godzilla. Just let him.
Don't fuck with Godzilla.
Unless you have another
And-
Godzilla.
Like there was the scene where the guy's like, "Oh, I have to avenge my friend," and then he gets killed. Which
What
is
was
such a
that?
Godzilla thing to happen. Okay, so when the first fighter jet like gets blown up or whatever by
Oh,
Godzilla's
yeah, alright,
thing,
yeah.
hit, like the other fighter jet's like, "I gotta save my friend." He
Yeah.
goes back and then he gets killed.
No, he's like, "Let's get him back." They knew he was dead.
Or let's get revenge or something. I have to avenge him.
The one thing I'm disappointed is I wish there were more shots of tanks shooting Godzilla, because
Yeah, that was-
those shots of like the army fighting Godzilla was really neat and well choreographed and interesting to watch. It was just sad that like since they couldn't do anything, there was no point in showing a lot of it. But it was like that Evangelion just like and like following the tracks and just felt
Yeah.
really like
That
ugh.
the tank scenes felt very Evangelion. Like that felt right at home.
Well, I
with,
guess it just feels very Anno. Like would be a
yeah,
better name.
Anno. Yeah, that's just an Anno thing, I guess.
Just Anno things. Ah.
Just Anno things. Hashtag just Anno things.
having a tsundere. Just Ano things.
Being completely disgusting. Just Ano things.
Constant one-liners. Just Ano things.
Just Ano things. Okay. See, there was another thing.
Is there anything other, like, that happened after that was of significance, other than, like, the endings? I have something to say about that. Well, actually, I don't. I just have questions.
Ending, like, I actually respected the ending for ending on a quiet
The ending
note
was pretty
instead
good.
of, like, you know Chekhov's gun, where if, like, you show the gun, then it better fucking go off?
Mm-hmm.
They said they had a nuke.
Yeah.
They didn't detonate the nuke. Good on you, Anno.
Which was pretty great. Yeah. Like, oh, it was so great, because, like, it was a really triumphant moment. Like, the entire movie, Godzilla is fucking shit up, and then they finally get the better of him without having to blow up Japan. And it's like, yeah,
I was
fuck
honestly
yeah.
disappointed in the sequence of how like they defeated Godzilla, because like I was honestly expecting like you to see like I don't know like toothpaste foam coming out of the pipes, but it was just
Yeah, that was a dental operation.
You didn't see it. That was a they were brushing Godzilla's teeth. Actually, that's all they had to do. He had some cavities. They had to fix him up, and he was happy after that.
Hey, remember when they hit Godzilla with 20 trains?
Those train bombs.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was the thing that happened.
Yeah, they
Those
like
did not act
it was so
realistic.
It honestly, it was honestly straight up. It reminded me like of me playing Train Simulator 2015 and like hacking it or something. It was like
that was the coolest
video
thing.
game trains. If you've ever seen trains glitch in Grand Theft Auto or any video game, you saw what happened in Godzilla's.
Yeah, just the whole movie just was really fun and amazing, and Godzilla doesn't even show up that much compared to his other movies.
It was only 15 minutes.
It's similar
of Godzilla.
15, really?
Yeah. Out of like a 2-hour movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh, I thought it was slightly more than that, but yeah, but unlike the 2014 one where he barely is there at all, he's still like when he's there. Like, oh shit, it's Godzilla, and I've already said this. Damn it! I just really love this movie.
So Calliope, oh god, fuck me.
Calliope.
How did you feel? You said you were gonna say like, before I say this, does anyone else have any say anything? And that's why I pounced on saying stuff. What did you want to say?
Well, I just had questions on the ending, because that definitely was like sequel baiting or something.
You mean the tail?
Yeah, the tail.
The tail? What was up with that?
What was up with that?
I was gonna bring up that next.
Were those aliens?
Yeah.
Hey,
were those angels?
Like mutated human corpses on Godzilla's tail.
I have two theories. Either one, it's like, Godzilla offspring, which I don't really like, or two, it's supposed to signify, the spirits of those killed, and like, nuclear holocausts or the earthquakes or whatever.
There's also this moment where like Godzilla's like growing wings or something. I don't know what was up with that either.
I didn't see him grow wings. They said he was going to grow wings. Like, that was his next evolution.
They did mention something about how he was going to, like, evolve to another stage and, like, grow wings.
Yeah, it's basically the next step in Godzilla's master plan to fuck people over.
Yeah.
But it never showed him growing wings. It was just like, this is the next thing Godzilla's gonna do.
Then you'd be literally God.
Yeah.
Yep. Rip humanity.
Yeah, which kind of reminds me of, I want to say, Space Godzilla.
So,
I want to say
what's your take on the tail things, Seabass?
Similar to you, how it's like the people like representing like nuclear holocaust thing. Like that's immediately what came to mind when I saw the tail. I also thought aliens for some reason, only because aliens show up in Godzilla all the time. But
for like the very first half of the movie, until like they actually confirmed that Godzilla was just like random evolution, I honestly thought Godzilla was like the scientist dude purposefully mutated himself into like this being to exact revenge or some shit.
See, I knew that the scientist dude committed suicide because the fact that
I thought he jumped
put the
shoes.
shoes.
Ocean. Like he died in the. I thought he died. I thought the boat was in the same place as Godzilla, wasn't it?
I don't think it was.
No, because they were in the boat and then the explosion happened.
Oh, did yeah.
So you just like swim underwater and greet
exactly
Godzilla?
Where it was.
Maybe that is what happened.
I think he just killed himself in the same location Godzilla appeared, to give that
No, he probably killed
Final
himself
location.
with
But yeah, this is a
Godzilla.
scientist
he knew
dude.
Godzilla was going to show up. He knew where Godzilla was going to show up. Like, he knew everything about Godzilla.
And he gave the answer of how to beat Godzilla through really cryptic
He
origami.
didn't give the answer to beat Godzilla.
that someone had to witness the origami, someone had to be at the crime scene, and that same person also had to be an important figure later on. Like, the circumstances surrounding that, I'm only now realizing, are pretty ridiculous.
I think that was just like, that was cool.
He didn't even give them the answer to beat Godzilla. He gave them Godzilla's DNA and evolutionary path, and then they used that data in conjunction with samples they gathered, and then did lots and lots of tests and ideas to figure out how the fuck we're gonna kill him.
Yeah.
One thing that really was hammered hard in this movie is that it's no one person versus Godzilla. It's no one guy with the solution. It's no one group. It's everyone together working
versus
to defeat Godzilla.
Yeah. Like, it felt, again, very Ava-like. It was like a really team effort to beat the enemy.
And it wasn't just Team Japan. There was Team Germany and Team USA.
There's Team Germany. Yeah, like, what was it? There's Team Germany, Team America. I want to say it's Team Sweden.
Team France.
At some point. Team France. That's what it was. Like, it felt very global.
And then China and Russia didn't do anything to help.
Yeah, China and Russia were threatening to do stuff. Thankfully, they didn't.
Now, here's the question. Did they kill Godzilla? Or did they keep him there frozen to exploit him?
They froze him.
They froze him.
You can't kill Godzilla. You kill Godzilla, and then, he comes back later for his bones.
Do you think there will be monster battles in the future sequels?
Definitely. In fact, Godzilla solo movies are really rare, especially from Toho. There's been like 3.
I honestly don't know what they're going to do from here. Like, what are they going to reveal? It just feels weird for, like, this realistic depiction of Japan facing a humongous threat. I can't see Mothra coming down from space or whatever and fighting Godzilla. That just seems just weird.
Yeah, how do you put social commentary on top of that?
They do.
They do.
Trust me, they do. They have. But
I could see.
I could see.
How about this?
I mean, they've already done this with Mechagodzilla a lot.
Come on, all right. Evangelion 4.44. You will not Godzilla.
Damn it, Ano! You just had to do it.
It's now an anime.
You know how you don't know what happened?
Urobuchi's making.
You know how you don't know what happened in 3.33? Godzilla is what happened. Like, Godzilla is caused the time skip or whatever.
Yeah. That's what Nerve was doing the whole time in between 2.0 and 3.33.
Like, Final Wars happened or whatever, and the world was fucked.
Second Impact to cover up for Godzilla.
Okay. Oh, what else is there?
It's a good movie.
So, yeah. Shin Godzilla, best movie ever. Best of 2016.
Apparently, it was the best in the Japanese box office, so.
Oh, yeah, it topped that. It's great. It was a great resurgence of Godzilla.
That was a shitty title, because
that was a shitty. They abandoned that. Like,
Godzilla wasn't resurging or anything. It was Godzilla's first appearance. Shin Godzilla is way better, because that reminds me of stuff like
in fact,
Shin
Toho even told Funimation,
like Shin Mazinger.
Like,
because Shin is a title that's used a lot in Japan for, reboots that aren't really reboots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, the American title was going to be Godzilla Resurgence, but then when Funimation got a hold of it, Toho actually told them, hey, just do Shin. It's a better title. And they're like, okay. It's actually a triple entendre. I mentioned this earlier, but it means new, true, and God.
And based.
Oh, really?
No.
I think it was doing pretty decent at my theater, because it was supposed to be a limited time release, and today was supposed to be last day, but it looked like it was extended a week. So that's cool.
Really? That's amazing. But yeah, new as in it's a new Godzilla. God as in the fact that they reference God a ton in the movie. And true as in the 2014 one was not true at all. I'm a big fan of these title things that they do with Godzilla movies. So yeah.
All right, thanks for listening.
I think that
And
just
you
about
can
wraps
support us
everything
on-
up.
you can.
Patreon.com/BenSane.
Yeah, that was the biggest
That's where you support us. That's easy.
fagcast in the universe.
Indeed.
Bye. How do I stop? Where's the stop? Bonus content.